Welcome back, guys. Here we are at WCS Spring. It's getting late into the evening here at the Cybersport Arena in Kiev. The players fighting for their lives, fighting for those seedings, and a lot of names getting dropped into the knockout bracket. It's getting down to the kind of more serious end of things, isn't it, Ben?
Yeah, I mean, when it gets to Group Stage 3, you have some real big names here duking it out. And it's been a long time since we got to see people from all these regions, you know? Like the last time that I saw TLO go up against these Europeans, I mean, you're talking like a good 6 months ago or so. So the fact that TLO, he's been living in Canada now, he's got his resident or citizenship and stuff, he's been competing over there. So this is kind of a matchup that you used to see a lot of the time, but it's been a while. He's
embraced his inner NA spirit animal. You know, the creative man's gone to the creative continent. And it is cool to see him competing over there in Challenger. But coming back to butt heads against some of the powerhouses in his home continent, he is, of course, the captain of the Team Liquid StarCraft team. Up here in the top left, in the blue, it's TLO.
And spawning over in the southeast side as our Red Zerg, playing for Team Ago, it is Elazer. Now, Elazer has been really solid in the European scene ever since like 2016, 2017 maybe.
Oh yeah.
Nurture obviously held the throne of Poland for quite some time, but Elazer is one of the youngsters that really rocketed it up out of nowhere. And he's been holding it down for Poland for a long time now. Had a bit of a rocky 2018, honestly, but he said he's got back to what he likes to do, what he likes to do well, which is very aggressive play, very all-in play, and he's been reaping a lot of success recently again.
Yeah, he's really powerful with those mid-game timings, isn't he? And like early, I guess late early game, that sort of thing. We used to see a lot of good Ravager abuse with him, and it's cool to see him in his element. I think back, of course, to Valencia 2017 was the one he beat Snoot in the grand finals, I believe. And that was a really close match where he was like a game from losing it, and he had to win like two maps in a row or 3 maps in a row, and he managed to close that one out. And that's kind of, I feel like Elazer's not as clean as like a Serral or someone like that, where they're like real perfect play, but he's like momentum, right? Tempo, aggression.
Throws a little bit of chaos at his opponent and hopes that they don't respond, but it's all about clean timings. Like he is the timing Zerg if you've ever had one. A lot of players, a lot of Zerg players, they like to play reactive, so you play to your opponent and you respond in a way and you get ahead macro-wise. Elazer, he'll look for these acute timings. He was the 53 drone Hydra Bane all-in guy against Protoss for a long time, you know, like he really looks to it. In fact, he's very smart with the way that he studies his opponents. He'll go through the VODs, the replays. He's like, if there's one all-in that would work out of all of the 19, this is the one, and this is the one that I'll do. So he's good about studying his opponents too. Yeah,
it's a good skill, isn't it? The ability to really not just go out there and play against Zerg, play against Terran, play against Protoss, but to actually play against your opponent's race, study them, look for some of those free wins. Of course, starting out here in this Zerg vs. Zerg on Cyber Forest, I love the little spawning pool wall that TLO did on the top of his ramp up here. Just creates like a backup layer of wall because that ramp is so close to your main base here, you can actually build it right up. Now, no Zergling speed has started for TLO, so it is looking like the blue Zerg wants to go straight up to lair. Probably going to be a fast Roach Warren, and I've definitely got my eyes open to see if TLO wants to go for like the 32 drone Roach speed +1 all-in, or if it's more of a macro-oriented play. Elazer on the other side of things has gone Ling speed into a fast third, an Evo Chamber, and a lair.
I feel that this Roach Warren's like fairly late by TLO. He didn't really want to give anything away too early on. He's getting a good drone count up, but they're both mirroring each other in that regard. In fact, this is a very, very similar game, except Elazer just has a third with it. So very, very unusual openings from both of them, I feel. Like there was no Ling Bane war early on. There was none of that. Like scouting was a bit difficult, but right now they're just doing things just in a slightly different order here, but still no third by TLO.
Oh, so Elazer did actually cancel Ling speed at the last second. I thought he let it finish because it was very close to finishing, but he did cancel that and said, oh, you know what, let's just go for this this sort of style. And obviously not opting for a Baneling nest, opting for the faster third, it does give him a nice little edge.
TLO's been doing a lot of Nidus play specifically on this map, by the way. It's something that I've seen him do, so maybe that could be an opening, but what does he actually see of his opponent here? Because Roach, like, Elazer hasn't played insanely greedy, and in fact, his drone count's actually a little bit behind TLO. Like, they're both just trying to get little bits of information in their opponent here, just see what they can actually get away with. Now he sees the third, though. Elazer can feel a little bit of a sigh of relief there, and he drones up immediately upon seeing that too.
Yeah, you know it's not going to be the nicest one popping in your base at 4 minutes 20 at this point with that third down. Still, of course, is opting for his own +1 and roach speed. Both sides very paranoid about their opponent skipping worker production and just slamming across the map with a big roach attack. Dario now going up to 4 gas on his side of the map, as well as TLO. And it looks like this should stabilize with both players massing up roaches, getting those upgrades. And the next decision is going to be, do both players go +2 or do they cut that upgrade? Do we see tunneling claws? Or Aspire? Looks like Aspire for TLO there. So that's a very quick commitment as well. This is not like a, oh, I'll squeeze a few mutas out at 180 supply of Roach vs. Roach. This is a very hard swap into at least 7 or 8 mutas, hopefully. And he's probably going to try and hide those to the very last minute. Of course, that Overseer has been scouting around. There are a few Zerglings around for Elazer. He's got good map vision, but he has no idea about that Spire just yet. A Zergling comes in on the 3rd.
Oh, and I mean, he does see the drone transfer here, so he knows there's going to be quite a bit of mining going on from TLO, but he has to be feeling so good about his position. Like, if this is just his opponent mirroring him with roaches, he's just been mining for his 3rd for significantly longer, so he has to know something is up. Like, he does see roach speed, he sees the +1 as well.
Oh, he's going to thrust across here with a roach pressure, trying to find out what's up. Maybe look for some damage. He knows he has the quicker roach speed. A good queen block does slow that down, but he's just going to dive on into the main, and at the same time, a couple of units run into the 3rd base. He's going to both spot the Spire and trade these roaches out for a good pack of drones.
Yeah, even though he's going to lose a lot of these roaches, he got a lot of stuff done with the fact that he's found out what his opponent's going for. Now, what is the reaction? He's getting up a Hydralisk Den at home. He's still dealing quite a lot of damage to this 3rd. This is 10 drones falling right now. TLO under a lot of pressure here. And this isn't committal. Like, it's not, oh, I'm going to kill you with this. This is very all in by me. This was mainly just for information and seeing if he could catch TLO off guard a little bit, and he did do that.
Yeah, that was such a nice move there. You know, sometimes attacks are seen as being risky, but there's so many little benefits you get out of it. The information as well as the potential damage. In this case, the info and the damage were both huge for Elazer. He's up in supply, and he's got a beautiful defense here of roaches. TLO trying to force his way through.
And Elazer's respecting it too, pulling drones off the line here to take a little bit of the damage. But one of the things that's really good for Elazer here, TLO just held down the roach key. There are no mutas ever to worry about right now, at least not for the time being. Elazer doing a little bit of counter-attack damage in the natural there too.
Yeah, I think TLO here, realizing those mutas have been spotted, doesn't want to risk going into them, says that's dead tech for now.
Oh, and then you say that and it's 1 muta on the field, but he's got no gas. Literally no gas at all.
I mean, I guess you can get 3 mutas and just clean up a few overlords, maybe eventually try to get to 5 so that you can pick off drones with a single volley. But you don't want to go too hard into that. It looks like TLO wants to catch up in the Roach War, and even investing in just 3 Mutalisks. This is Cyberforest, Ben. This is the smallest map in the pool. A Roach attack can get across very quickly, and you're already down 30 army supply. I think investing in mutas at all this late has got to be a mistake.
I also think that he didn't think about Hydras being on the way already upon seeing that Spire. Maybe he thought Elazer was way more all in with that attack, so it was like, now I'm going to force out the Hydralisk Den, force out a bit of a tech switch, but Elazer was already on top of all of that. Now, these guys can obviously clear out a few of the Overlords, but this supply lead is just mounting for Elazer, and he's getting superior units to his army as well. He is feeling very comfortable in this game.
Yeah, for TLO, this is the sort of game from here where I would say don't build a single more drone, and if you want to get back into it, you know you're working with just less stuff, less economy. So you want to work back into it, not through trying to match your opponent's economy, that's a losing game, but trying to focus even more on your army supply. So basically just mass roaches, stay at this work account, keep massing them, and if you can kind of delay the fight till you're both maxed out, you'll have a larger army supply available. If you can find the correct angle, one really good fight can turn a game around, but ooh, does eat 1 or 2 of his own biles there. Picking off a few Overlords is nice. TLO's trying to be annoying here, but actually some of his roaches getting caught on that corner. A great Ravager snipe from Elazer.
The thing is, TLO's army is not scary right now, and Elazer's just sitting on his side of the map, just mining slightly more. I mean, it's only a small drone lead, but again, he's got a better army. Ravagers can do a lot for sure, but Elazer, when does he decide to go? Because right now he is very far ahead, and these mutas continuing to do a little bit of damage here and there, getting what they can done, but TLO is going to have to do something amazing to hold on here. Yeah,
this is a great push from Elazer. He's got to utilize that advantage, but I love the movement from TLO. Gaining position. TLO can't force the fight.
And
TLO
Ravager snipe. That was really nice by him.
Yeah, if he can buy about 2 more minutes of time, TLO will be able to max out and his army can match Elazer's if he can get the correct angle. The upgrades are going to be even, 2-1 versus 2-1. Now, Hydra is going to add a lot of damage output in Elazer's army, but there's no way to turn them into Lurkers just yet. He's only now starting the Lurker Den, and so if you catch those Hydras out at all, TLO can absolutely swing this game back into his control.
And I tell you, this is quite a few roaches that he's committing here. And Elazer, his roaches were made just in time there, forming a little bit of a wall. And these were quite low health roaches, I guess, by TLO as well. But right now, the supply's as close as it's ever been. And this is a bit of a risky fight for Elazer to take. Yeah,
if TLO was a bit more decisive there, he could have actually jumped on top of those units, taken advantage of the fact that he'd pulled Elazer's attention away. But over-respecting Elazer's push there. And he is now looking around the map. Elazer's very much split up all over the place. The Lurker Den's about halfway done. TLO's maxed out. This is that moment I was talking about where TLO has a very similar army supply, equal upgrades. He might be able to make it happen.
Oh, is he going to get trapped here? There's a big flank potential.
But actually, I think Elazer, he's going to wriggle his way down a little bit. He's going to lose these units, but his reinforcements are coming in. And Biles landing on both sides. Nice zoning Biles there from TLO, making some big hits on Elazer's army. Elazer, realizing he's lost those units on the low ground. They've been cornered. He's going to retreat.
That was such a crazy play by Elazer to run in there with such a small army. And a nice catch by TLO, grabbing him from both sides there. And that was very, very messy by Elazer, honestly. Like, he didn't have to do that.
That's a very Hydralisk-focused army here for Elazer as well, and they are fragile. I feel like he's got to squeeze some Lurkers in. 5 Lurkers are morphing right now, but he's got to buy time. TLO is up in Workers, actually, but he's still on just pure Roach Ravager. He's got nothing to answer Lurkers with. He's going to split his army in two. Both sides looking very good right now. Going to snipe down the 4th base. Nice play with the Mass Ravagers.
Elazer's getting himself on the back foot here. This looks like it could be a really nice wraparound, though, as TLO outstayed his welcome. Does look like it does. Oh, nice micro with the Lurker. But these Ravagers, they are not cheap, Pig. They are very expensive. And he's been launching a counterattack on this side of the map.
Nice plays here by Elazer, finally getting on top of all of this multi-prong action on both sides. And he's going to be able to take that out on the north. He defends, starts counterattacking with Roach Lurker. His own Ravagers, Roaches, Hydras, and Lurkers on the south side also pulling back for now. And here we go, TLO with only Roaches and Ravagers. He's down in army supply. Even though he's up in Workers right now, he's been mining less money the vast majority of this game. And it looks like it's time for Elazer to just press forward. Lurkers coming in on all sides. A gigantic arc of Roach Hydra. Elazer ready to close out this first map.
Better tech, better army, just better everything at this point for Elazer. Nice positioning too. There is not enough left. Even the Lurkers separating the two bases here, just stopping reinforcements from coming in. And TLO supply just dwindling at this point. Even the Overlords being killed across the map. And GG. Elazer takes a pretty convincing first game against TLO. But there was definitely points in that game where TLO kind of came back because he was not in the best situation, I felt. I think Elazer's build just eked out a lot of little edges here and there. A slightly faster third. He got to see the Muta switch as well, or in fact the Spire before it even got finished. There was just a lot of clean things about the way that Elazer played that game.
And it was interesting because Elazer did open up that game with the Zergling speed, wanting to be more flexible. He was thinking about maybe even going into the Ling Bane portion of the game. He was always looking for that fast third. But when he saw that TLO wasn't doing the same, he made a quick read. He said, you know what? I think you're going to go for that Roach style on 2 base. Cancel my Ling speed, and I'll match you with it. Be slightly behind on the upgrades, but guess what? I've got my 3rd base already up and mining. And that little mining advantage, as you said, Ben, he turned that into a small edge with the Roach count, a few more workers here and there, and he just built upon those advantages. Elazer there playing a very good reflexive macro game.
I think you bring up a very important point. When you get a lot of these players that rely on these all-ins, these styles, and trying to find out a weakness, it was really nice for Elazer there. He was like, okay, I'm going to go speed. And then he totally stopped it upon seeing something. And he made all the right moves from that point on. Even the little Roach squad that ran up into the natural and stuff and then into the main. It was just very, it was all about knowledge. And he just wanted to get, he knew something was a little off. Why is his 3rd later than mine? He's doing everything the same. What has he sacrificed? Or what is he going for? And he managed to get that information and then played it out beautifully from that point on. Even getting the Hydralisk Den just in case the Mutas did come out in a full force. Never happened, obviously. And Elazer played very clean, man.
Yeah, looking nice. I love it when he's feeling confident because I feel like there's this energy that gathers up for Elazer during these tournament runs where he just kind of, he gets in form and everything starts to come together for him, and it just kind of feels like all the pieces start to click, and as his confidence grows, I feel like his performance gets better and better.
He's a bit of a raging bull, you know, like once he starts going, he can't be stopped kind of thing. Like there's been so many games of Elazer where I see like Overlords dropping into a base followed up with a Nidus play, you know, like once he starts, he's just amazing at killing people, honestly. It's a truly great talent to have in StarCraft 2.
Oh yeah, I think of his BlizzCon matches way back when in 2016 when he kind of burst into prominence. And, you know, I think it was Showtime who he just blitzed through with like Baneling drops from all sides. He was running in Banelings from every single angle. Just, you know, Elazer on form is a truly fantastic beast to behold. Let's see if his opponent can bring it back here. We are going into map number 2. It's here on Port Alexander in the bottom right, representing Team Liquid. He is TLO.
And currently 1-0 up in this series, representing Team Ago as the Red Zerg, it is Elazer. I want to give like TLO a little bit of credit there, though, because I do feel that Elazer is stronger overall. And
yeah.
TLO did want to do something a little bit quirky, a little bit weird to try and throw Elazer off, which I think it's playing to your style, sure, but it's also realizing this guy's really hard to go up against straight up. So wanting to get away with that Spire play, because if those Roaches didn't get in there, we could have seen a totally different game, actually.
Absolutely. If you don't see that mute attack and it comes out, it just throws the game into a very different scenario. You know, TLO's not the guy who likes playing Roach versus Roach and finding a way to squeeze in his Contaminate on your +2 upgrade. So his +2 upgrade is 20 seconds faster, and then he hits you with a Roach attack at your third base. He's not really working on those tiny differential details. TLO's a big kind of grand scheme strategy player who loves to work with different compositions and then kind of flow with the things that forces. You know, he'll force the anti-air overcommitment and then slide in the Ling, you know, the Ling counter attacks on the ground or the Roach run bys. He's the guy who wants to get that movement going, force those tech switches, and within that game where you have to do a lot of on-the-fly thinking and problem solving, that's where TLO really thrives.
Absolutely. Now, Port Alexander for a map in ZvZ, it's a far bigger map than the one that we previously saw, at least rush distance-wise from base to base. So this is a map that you don't often see a lot of the two-basey plays, like two-base openings. Third base is far more likely. Even after they nerf those mineral patches on that third base, it's still a base that you really go for in this matchup, at least more often than not. I mean, two-base Nidus play could be a thing. There's things like that happen.
This was the one where there were no low patches, right?
1,800 minerals on everyone.
It was every single one was a full mineral field, yeah. I totally forgot about that. They fixed that very quickly, I remember. But yeah, it was. It's one of these maps where Ling Bane is very common. If Raynor was in this game, I'd be talking about +1 melee upgrade being almost like something you know is going to happen. But definitely a possibility here. Of course, you can see it's kind of hard to get up into the natural as well. Very defensible area. We have seen players go straight towards Mutalisks, occasionally even on two bases on this map. But lots of different styles. Nidus Worm was all the rage on this map as well because you got that big, big main wide open and the third base quite far away. But for now, just Ling speed starting up. Both players still mining little bits of gas. And we are going to see some light pressure from TLO. Not a lot of hit points on that hatchery and only 2 Zerglings here, but no, another 2 do come down. TLO, though, wins the skirmish. Already getting a Ling snipe. It's going to allow him to get a lot of free damage on this, but no, 2 more Lings do come down. Elazer being very safe there. He is going to be able to deflect TLO for now.
Yeah, nice little bit of Ling micro by both of them, actually, being a little bit cheeky there. So this is a game where both these races are so volatile within regards to how their macro works. They can either make drones or they make battle units. You can't really do both. It's either or. And we do see Elazer here, 16 Lings and a Roach Warren in production.
This
so
is
no
classic,
Baneling nest. Classic
build, yeah, old school here. This is something Lambo used to do a lot in early Legacy of the Void. Just a big Ling flood, force your opponent to stay at home, and that allows you to go straight up to Roaches, because if you just sit back and your opponent comes with Banelings, you don't have your own Banelings, you're going to get overrun. But this means TLO is going to have to make his Banelings defensively, and you know what? Those Banelings are actually really late to Muslim. Those are very late Banelings. TLO being very greedy, he can't afford to lose that third.
Even sniping one of the Banelings too before it got anything done. I mean, TLO is going to have to work magic here because this is difficult to get sorted, and the Baneling even having to run away. What HP is the hatchery on right now? And it's gone, it's down.
That's
this is a great
huge
skirmish for Elazer.
Yeah, TLO was being a little bit greedy on the droning, so it's, you know, in a way it's not as big as if he'd built a lot of Zerglings, lost them all to a Baneling, and then lost the hatch, because TLO was mining a little bit more. But gets the attempt to take it sniped again. Now it's really adding up into huge damage. That third being so delayed. TLO desperate to get some counterattack damage. We see here Elazer abandoning his third base. Queen gonna wedge herself in the minerals for safety. Lovely Roach positioning between the gases as well. And TLO is going to get that counter snipe on the hatch, but he's going to pay a bit of a tax for it, losing a lot of Zerglings.
And he is behind in workers as well, so this isn't a super good situation for TLO. I mean, he's 20 supply down. He doesn't have the Roach Warren yet either. Yes, he's starting his third up earlier than his opponent, but he's been mining less again this game. It just feels like Elazer is... He knows how to get damage done, but also recuperate a little bit better than his opponent, and he's the one making these moves happen.
Yeah, we see TLO there morphing a lot of extra Banelings, but I feel like that might be an overcommitment. You've seen Roaches from your opponent already. You need to be going into your own Roach tech as well. Of course, TLO has redroned to 37 workers, very even on both sides. The Lings, the Banes here, defending at the third, but so many Roaches are out. And this is going to be a tough crawl for TLO. You know, it feels like he needs to be greedy and drone up a little bit more. But with so many Roaches on the map, he's afraid of that impending push. He feels like Elazer could just shove across the map at any moment.
I do agree with you though, Pig. Like, making those amount of extra Banelings when, you know, this is going to be all the Lings on the field for Elazer for some time, I imagine, given that he's so committed to Roaches. And there's almost very little point to making any more Lings. So going up to 4 Banelings, even though it's something very small and very minuscule, if you are behind and you make a choice like that to deal with the Lings, it can definitely set you back even more than you already are.
Ooh, Ling's trying to get in there, and TLO going to be getting caught out, losing one Queen. A great snipe here for Elazer. And all of these Lings on the other side of the map, they're going to respond with a Queen snipe as well. They traded hatch for hatch, now it's Queen for Queen. It looks like a Baneling did find most of the Zerglings on TLO's side, but a couple of them crawled into the main, took out a few drones, and forced him off the mining line.
And while all that went on, Elazer again just eked out more and more in the drone count. They're very equal on upgrades and very equal on getting a Roach speed, it looks like. At least not too far away. Nothing much in it. But again, just, this could get some damage done there.
Those Lings finding the mobility advantage there. They're going to take down a bunch of drones on that natural. Good mineral drill to save those workers. A lot of them deep in the red. The whole position micro, very good. 12 workers. Going to look for a 13th. Does manage to find it. TLO finding an effective trade out for those workers. Behind this, he's going for his own 1-1 and Roach speed. TLO is way down in the Roach count, so he's got to be very defensive right now. Yes, that was good damage, but you can't get ahead of yourself. Don't go too deep on this map, TLO.
The supply is a little deceptive, though, because Elazer did what he usually does, where he makes way too many Overlords. So, I mean, those could be in drones, they could be in extra Roaches right now. 170 max supply when you're only at 110. That is crazy, but it's something that you'll often see in a Elazer play, honestly.
And he just built 4 more when he was at 100 out of 180.
Dude, this is what we call Elazer Overlords in like the pro game, is like, because he does it every time. And we're like, Miko, why do you keep doing this? He's like, just something I do, you know, but like at 200 supply for 130, I guess it means he doesn't have to make any more Overlords at this point, so his supply will actually climb much faster.
Yeah, it's a slow, long-term investment. It's not as good, of course, as having more drones straight away or anything like that, but it is actually something you've got on the map, and that, of course, is the advantage that Elazer's had this whole early game. He's now got 4 Ravagers and a small Roach advantage there pushing across the map. His own +2 starts a bit ahead of TLO's. TLO's got Carapace about to finish, but the +2 range upgrade is much more important than that.
And Elazer's teching on up too, going for burrowed movement. Now, that is something, if you know that you can potentially out-multitask your opponent, out-micro him too, then getting Chaos amidst all his bases, that's when the game gets super-duper dicey.
Yeah, your ability to just split Roaches all over the place is insane. Of course, the burrow move, healing, has been reduced, so no longer will you see, you know, for instance, I think all of last year, a lot of Zerg vs. Zerg was defined by Serral's ability to split Roaches into every base and not lose any of them.
Did you see that cute little thing, by the way? He contaminated the correct Evo, then TLO cancelled it on that Evo and started on the other one.
Oh,
so just like some little
nice
moves, but nice, nice, and it's smart stuff to be doing as well. But upon seeing the double Evo, Elazer knows that he has to do something kind of soon, otherwise he could potentially be like very much out upgraded, especially when he's got such a good supply here too.
Yeah, I mean his advantages are all here, they're all ready right now. He's got great map coverage, so he does catch these 4 roaches on the north. At the same time, he's looking to catch a few more of these stray units. Dario's trying to frantically split up and find some sort of angle, but he is way down in army right now. And you see Elazer just cascading across this map, a huge wave of roaches. His roaches on the north going to burrow, and they are going to start going into the bases. TLO has no idea about this. He doesn't have any detection. One overseer starts to morph.
Oh, nice wall, though, to stop.
Very cute.
He realized that there was something going on, so he stops the income into his natural base from those roaches, but he does also stop himself from being able to get out. So he does break through, though, and this is a lot of Elazer here at this third base.
Ooh.
You got Bile. Oh, sick Biles on everything.
Wow, massive Biles there as TLO is forced to come out and engage his army.
Oh my God, is he trying to catch them at this point? This is so much damage. And that, no, yes, GG, TLO just caught all those Biles, man. He was stuck in his own base. Elazer just got on top of him with the roaches. He couldn't move out of that bad zone.
Yeah.
Oh, that was really clean by Elazer, by the way. That was a super good game. He didn't really make any mistake whatsoever. He had super nice follow-ups and just very good play from him.
That was a textbook Zerg vs. Zerg series from the Polish player. Elazer just looking fantastic. And it's the Elazer of old. He's here again, just in control throughout that series. You know, as much as we talk about, like, that was, you know, eating some Biles at the end, it was all Elazer forcing the scenario, right? He built all his advantages to that position. And then, you know, you crammed between a hatchery, a wall, and trying to protect your drones. And it's, it's one of those just painful ways to lose, though. But TLO showing some good moves. I love that Evo Chamber wall to block those roaches, because you could tell he realized in that moment, he saw the other roaches had the upgrade. There is, of course, a visual graphic on their back that appears. So he said, uh-oh, you must have other roaches that are trying to burrow into my base right now. As always, the clutch creative reactions from Dr. Dario.
Absolutely, and I think very soon we're going to hear from our winner himself from Smix.
Much to Muslim. Congratulations, Elazer. Now with this 2-0, first and foremost, you're making it out of this group stage and moving forward. That has to be a relief considering it started off with a 2-0 loss.
Yeah, it started with a 2-0 loss, but it was against Harstem and against Protoss, I would say. So obviously Harstem is, you know, no offense to him, he's like the best Protoss right now, I think, when it comes to like strategy picks and stuff. But yeah, the strategies that he picked, I got completely destroyed. Like, if I played them again against them, maybe I would have a chance, but at the point of the games, I had like no chance. So I don't really regret it. Like, there was nothing I could have done, I think.
But you've always been known for having great ZvZ, and after the loss against Harstem, you had to play Zerg players. So did you just shake that loss off and just move into your next matches with relative confidence?
So yeah, so as I say, he was the only Protoss in my group, and I also thought he's the best player besides me. So after that, I knew it's Zanster and TLO, and I didn't expect Harstem to lose. So I knew it's just gonna be ZvZs, and I was quite confident. I'm not as confident as I was in the past. I changed quite a bit since the last interview we had. So yeah, I was a bit scared of Zanster and even TLO, but somehow I got through.
And in this series against TLO, it was a 2-0, and in both matches, both maps rather, you were in a really good position for most of the games, but there were little moments where Dario did make some good moves here and there. Did those worry you at all, or were you confident that the lead that you had gained early on was enough?
What good moves? No, I'm just joking. I don't know. No, it was... The second game was very straightforward because he just didn't defend the third base. He got the counter-attack going, but I think I was already far ahead after that. So second game was pretty straightforward. But the first game, yeah, it was quite close. But I actually want to thank Mattis for a bit of analysis he did for me while I was playing versus Harstem. And yeah, he realized that TLO does this build, which is like 2 base and 2 Spire. And yeah, I knew how to play against it. So yeah, special thanks to Mattis. Thanks.
And now moving forward, I know that you just said that you don't have the same sort of confidence as you did before, but still you're moving forward, and this is always an opportunity as you are still considered one of the top players in Europe. So moving forward, you know, what are your expectations? Are you not really thinking about potential players, or are you just going to take it game by game? What's your expectations there?
Well, my expectations are not very high right now because yeah, it was a long time since I got a very good result, so I think I want to take it step by step right now. My goal is kind of to dodge Protoss players, and yeah, and I think if I dodge all the top Protoss players like Nib and Showtime, I think I can get like even top 4 if I get a nice bracket, you know.
But what happens if you dodge all those Protoss players, but then you get Serral? Are you okay with that?
I'm fine, obviously. I mean, Serral is the best, so I'm not confident against him at all, but I would prefer to play Serral than Showtime or Nib, really.
Well, as always, it's a pleasure to speak with you once again, and we'll see how things go tomorrow. But for now, it is Elazer that is moving on out of this group in that Deciders match. Kalaris, back to you.